Good morning. We're here today with Ross Moran, Chief Executive at TigerShed. Good morning, Ross.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you. So can you please introduce yourself and the company?
Hi there. Yeah, so as you say, Ross Moran, the Chief Executive of TigerShed. TigerShed is a part of the Woodlands Home and Garden Group, and our mission here at TigerShed is to help our customers find the perfect outdoor space to use in their gardens.
Fantastic. How has the company evolved since its foundation, which is quite old, since 1913?
Absolutely, yeah. So a little bit before my time. So the company itself, the group, Woodlands, was founded in 1913. And originally its mission and what it was all about was creating bespoke timber. So it was creating bespoke timber furniture products for the local market. And it started with one store in Horsforth. So I guess how it's changed to now, it's quite dramatic. We've now got, 100 plus years later, we moved into garden building production in the 1980s. Another big change for the company in 2008 was the introduction of the TigerShed's website, which was our retail brand and launched our products out to the general public. The company now has 3 large production sites across West Yorkshire, and we've got around about 180 staff in the business. So it's changed a huge amount from just one small store in Horsforth. Fantastic.
So whatever you're doing a good job.
Hopefully, yeah.
So why have you chosen Horsforth as your show site?
So the company's got a long history and a long heritage in Horsforth. The original store in 1913 was around the corner in Horsforth, and we've always had a presence in that area. So we've got a real affinity with the local area and the local community. And we'd like to think that the local community thinks a lot about us as well. We've got a really good reputation in the area. We've always had a store in Horsforth, so people have always known that if they want garden buildings, they can always come to find us in Horsforth. So when we came to invest and create a new site that was going to be our national display site for Tiger, it seemed an obvious decision to put it here in our home ground, as it were.
Fantastic. So I was actually on your website recently, and can you explain more how you provide customers with hands-on experience to help them find the perfect space?
Absolutely. So there's probably a couple of sides to that. I mean, firstly, I think it's the premise of us giving people this perfect space is something that's new for the business. We've been trading in garden buildings for a long time, 30, 40 years, and the market is quite congested. It's generally priced based on price and size of building. In the recent years, we've started to do a lot of research and a lot of work talking to our customers to find out what they actually want. And we found that people were often confused when they came to the market. They didn't really know what they were looking for. There was a huge amount of products available, but they all tend to look quite similar, especially online when all you can see is photos. And we wanted to take a step back for that. And we started talking to customers and started talking about the journey that they were on when they came to look for a garden building or something in their garden. And we found that there needed to be much more focus in the market of what they were actually going to use the product for. Nobody in our market was looking at the use of the products. Everybody tended to be looking at, okay, how much money do you have to spend? How big a space have you got in your garden? So we've really worked on this concept of changing that round and asking the customer at the very beginning of the journey, okay, before we go into price, budget, size, roof style, tell us what you want to use the building for, which is where this concept of find your perfect space comes from. We're asking the customer first, what do you want to use it for? Is it to work in? Is it to work out in? Is it to do your work from? Is it a spare bedroom for friends to come and stay over? Once we know that, we can then work backwards to work out what building in our range might fit perfectly for you. Or is it something that's similar to something in our range that we can then tweak or make a bespoke adjustment to? I think that then ties into the show site, we believe, perfectly well. You mentioned this kind of hands-on approach, and there's a massive challenge as an online retailer in terms of being able to convey quality in the right manner.
Okay, yes.
Everybody, if they're prepared to invest in their website, everybody can have a nice website. Everybody can have nice, whether they're photos or CGI, we can all make those products look fantastic online. You show your highlights reel, whereas a show site isn't like that. A show site is real life. You can't Photoshop it on the show site. And I think there is still people out there that really value this traditional sense of being able to come and see and touch and feel things. And that's something that not everyone in the market can offer. You know, if you are a small website operating out of a bedroom, you can't have a show site. It doesn't work like that. There's a particular, there's something nice about coming to see something that's going to sit in your garden for years to come. The products that we sell are not designed to last you for a couple of years. You know, they're designed to last you for 30 years, a lifetime in some cases. And we want people to come and touch that and feel it and make sure they're really comfortable and really confident about doing that. So we want to provide them that environment to come and do that. It then leads on really nicely to this concept of them telling us that what they want to use it for. You know, one of the big pushes with the new show site is come and speak to someone on site and don't start with budget, don't start with shape, size of what you might think you want. First of all, come and sit down and tell us what you want to use it for. Then we'll walk around and we'll say, okay, you know, you might have identified that this is going to be a working from home space. Let's show you some buildings that we think suit perfectly working from home, and we'll have a walk around it. You can speak to one of our team and go inside the building, touch it, feel it. You might not then choose the one that we've suggested. You might walk past something else and think, actually, you know, I've fallen in love with this one. But the idea is, let's start with, you tell us what you want, and we'll kind of walk around that range and say, these buildings we think are perfect for that topic.
Fantastic. I think that's an amazing workflow. Let's go back to the company. Now, you've grown substantially in the last few years, not more than 100 years. Well, how has the COVID affected the business?
I think it's had a massive impact. You know, obviously speaking from personal points of view, it's made an impact to everybody's lives. It's been a hugely challenging period. There was a huge, obviously, concern at the beginning of COVID as to what was going to happen to the market and what it was going to mean. And I think all businesses were probably concerned for their future and what it would mean. But actually, for the kind of garden and outdoor market, it's created a huge number of opportunities. You know, particularly things like the restrictions that were in place and the lockdowns that were in place at the beginning of COVID meant that people were almost forced to spend more time than they'd ever imagined in their own homes. You know, this kind of magical thing happened where people started to rekindle the love affair with their house, with their garden. You saw a lot of people walking, and that people started to value what they actually had in that space. And suddenly going outside in your own garden was a treat. You know, you'd have your family around, and when you could, or you'd meet them at the gate, and it became more and more important than ever, as we saw it, to ensure that their garden was the space that they wanted it to be. People had maybe neglected that over the years, or they hadn't utilized space in their garden, and suddenly it almost refocused everyone's mind. And this space was now so valuable to them. This was their outdoor pursuit, their chance to get out of the house. You know, if they were working from home, it either became a site where they could create a space to work from home, or if they're working from inside the house, then the garden became their escape from work. So they walked around the garden, and suddenly when people were looking at new spaces and they didn't know what they could do. And, you know, for us as a business, that created a huge number of opportunities. You know, how could we help people to create those new spaces in their garden? You know, how could we fulfill their needs? As we mentioned before, there was a huge shift to working from home. So lots of people needed that space, and lots of people did look to their garden. You know, can we create something in the garden? So there's been a huge shift in the market towards products that are suited to working from home. But similarly, I think, you know, you've just generally seen people value space more, which really ties into what we're trying to achieve, which is being able to provide that extra space. You know, most people have some outdoor space, but most people are not utilizing it very well. And it's an opportunity for us to work with those people and say, show us what space you've got, tell us what you want to do with it, and can we work together to find something that meets your needs and satisfies that opportunity. So yeah, it's given us in the whole market and the whole outdoor industry a huge boost, but also probably I like to look at it as almost a huge kick up the backside to say, come on, we've got these great spaces outside. We need to be using them more. Let's get outside. Let's get the kids back outside and find a way to enjoy our outdoor spaces.
Absolutely. I completely agree. So you mentioned the word of possibility a couple of minutes back. So where do you see the business in the next 12 months?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're on a massive growth journey as a business. The Tiger brand has just relaunched, which includes completely new branding. We've got new style products, new differentiation on the products. We've also launched some national TV advertising, which has just gone live within the last few weeks. The business has invested a lot of money in the last couple of years. We've increased our production facilities. We purchased and have moved into an expanded production site in Thornbury, near Bradford, approximately 9 months ago, which has seen an increase in staff numbers, which is fantastic for the business to bring in new team members and be able to train them and sort of bring them into the family business. So more of the same, more growth. We set out 3 years ago on a mission, which was a 5-year plan to become the number one brand in the garden building industry, and we feel we're well on our way to that journey. So there's a huge push to cement our place. We strongly believe that the garden building industry is something that needs to move away from being a commodity product. We talked a little bit about people buy on price, they buy on size, they don't know who manufactures the building, and historically people have almost said they don't care who manufactures the building, they just want this building for this price in their garden. We strongly disagree with that as a business. We feel like many other industries and many other markets across the UK that it's much more important that people get a feel for the brand. They want to know where it comes from. People care much more about sustainability now. They care about where it's manufactured. And we feel like we've got such a story to tell. This is a product that's proudly made in Leeds. It's a family business. The group's been going for more than 100 years. We make a great quality product, and we really care about what our customers want to use that product for. And we think it's really now time that kind of message comes across in this market, and we want to establish Tiger as the known brand in this market. We want to establish it as a sort of name where people associate that with the products. We've seen that across other markets. People think of that name and it makes them think of the outdoor building. We think there's a huge opportunity to do that, and we want to be the first in our market to take that space. Hence the move into TV advertising, hence the investment in the new sites. And I think the other big change in that is putting the branding on the product. Because the market's been a commodity product, why bother putting your name on it? Why bother putting differences on there? Let's just keep the costs down and let's churn out a building that looks the same as everybody else's, as long as we can keep within the price range. And we don't feel that way about the Tiger products. We feel it's much more about creating that connection with the customers. We want them to be proud of their products. We've got plaques with the Tiger name on it. We've got a peak on the building that's got the TigerShed logo on it. We want people to put that on their products. We want their neighbours to see it and think, wow, that building looks fantastic. Where did you get it from? Or I recognise the tiger's head on that. And that's something that we see pushing us forward. We've got some new ranges of products that are in development. So a few years ago, we changed the style of some of our products to create a flexible modular product, which has massive benefits to the customers. So we had a shed range that could be delivered within 2 days through the pallet network, but it's also flexible. So it allows the customer to move the doors and windows anywhere that they want. That was an exclusive in the industry, and it's become really, really popular in our industry. We've just launched a similar product in our log cabin range, again, that's available on a very, very fast turnaround, a pick-a-day delivery service, but it allows that customization. The customer can buy it and decide where they want the doors and windows. And yeah, we see that as a really big innovation in our industry, and something that we can push further forward. We're looking forward to connecting with the customers again. It's been a huge help to our business in the last 2 or 3 years to talk to customers and find out what they actually wanted, rather than develop products based on what we can make or the machinery that we have or what we think will sell. So we're going to do a lot more outreach to customers, have a lot more conversations, and find out what our customers genuinely want. And then, work on one of our key strengths, which is new product development. Let's hear what the customers would like us to produce over the next years, and we're really confident in the background we can then make that and go out and create some new products and continue to kind of push the boundaries in the market.
Fantastic. Ross, it's been a pleasure to meet you today, and thank you. You've enlightened a lot with all your information that you just mentioned. And I've got a big garden as well. Seriously, start going on your website and look into it.
Fantastic. Yeah, get yourself on tigersheds.com, have a look and see what you like.
Thank you very much. Guys, for more information, please visit the TigerShed's website. Thank you very much.